Election fraud, what is it? What tactics do corrupt political parties employ to affect the outcomes of elections? And how do we prevent this? This talk addresses these questions without delving into the merits of the situation in the US. At a scientific level, election fraud involves artificially increasing the vote for one party, artificially decreasing the vote of another, or both. In close elections, this can affect the outcome. The following are some of the more prominent tactics. The composition of an electorate can itself be manipulated. Temporarily moving party loyalists to a district to reside in low budget accommodation or the strategic placement of public housing can change the demographic balance and outcome. The counter is to require a period of residence. This, however, has the effect of disenfranchising the homeless, tourists, students, and migrant workers. On occasion, immigration laws have been changed to enfranchise large demographics that are believed to vote one way or another. Often prisoners are removed from voter rolls to affect the outcome. Some laws demand that a person vote close to home, effectively disenfranchising military personnel serving abroad. Simpler methods such as placing an election on a holy day or placing polling stations at great distance are often employed. Now, voter intimidation entails threatening voters from a particular camp with violence or the physical destruction of polling booths. The following advertisement in the link from Rhodesia must be seen to be believed. The 5th Afrobarometer survey showed that 48% of voters in 33 African countries feared violence during elections. Voters can further be tricked by disinformation to the effect that recording a vote may be a crime or that a location of a polling station has been changed. Often postal votes are purchased. The poor or a marginal voter is paid to file a ballot with support for a particular party. This is a widespread practice in some parts of the world. The above survey indicates that 16% of voters were offered money or other goods in exchange for voting a particular way in the most recent election. Some parties use similar names or symbols to confuse voters, an effective tactic in districts with low literacy. Ballot box stuffing consists in persons casting multiple votes. So-called granny farming involves approaching residents in retirement homes and seeking proxy ballots. Votes are often misrecorded by rigged machines or corrupted software, and in some instances ballot papers are deliberately spoiled by election officials. In some places the voting process may be nothing more than a sham, to the point that officials simply announce whatever results they want, sometimes without even bothering to count the votes. All of these methods have a thing in common. They unlawfully and intentionally misrepresent the legitimate vote of a person, which causes prejudice to the opposition. This is the common law definition of fraud. In brief, strategies used to counter these methods involve an audit of the process or results, prosecution of offenders, and campaigns aimed at the development of morality surrounding elections. Secret ballots, observers from abroad and international organizations, receipts issued to voters, and physical confirmation of electronic tallies are among the methods used to provide security. Persons in this part of the world, considering our history, are often misty-eyed and naive about democracy. It bears mention that computer systems were hacked during our first democratic election and a fictitious outcome prevented by a physical count. Electoral fraud and practices intended to subvert democracy are to be taken seriously and guarded against.